welcome back to my channel, being Louisa. So today's VEDA video is a question that no one's really asked me before. Is it worth it? People usually ask me a lot, why did you become a student midwife? Or they ask me, how did I get into midwifery? Like, how did I get on the course and all that stuff? Usually my answer is, I didn't choose this. Like, I didn't choose to become a student midwife. God did. This was God's plan. This was his will. I did not have this in my life. It was not in my vision. I maybe thought of it once when I was like 13 and I was like, nope, I'm too emotional for that. Like, that was it. I was like, nope, no point. And I went on my merry way. I wanted to be a solicitor after that. Then I wanted to be a photographer. So I did my A-levels for photography, basically. And my mate also asked me, how did I get into it? Well, because this wasn't in my plans. After A-levels, I took a year out, worked for a year full-time, went back to college and did an access course in midwifery and nursing to get in here. But it's funny she said, I'm nervous. It's not funny, like that's what kind of got me thinking of her saying I'm nervous, because I may not have told people this. I was nervous as well for a while, right up until after my first shift on Community, which was my first placement, and I can't believe I'm gonna say this, all the way back in October. I was nervous as well. I didn't think this was right for me, especially when you hear all these people saying, oh, I want to be a midwife because I've always wanted to be a midwife, or I want to be a midwife because I had kids and I had an awesome midwife, or I want to be a midwife because when I had my children, my midwife wasn't that great, so I want to provide that good care for other people. Like, you know, these things, and I'm just like, God told me to. I was always insecure about that, but I was also nervous about it. I feel like I was especially nervous because this wasn't my plan for me. I've always kind of had a plan. Even if I go off plan a bit or I change plans, it's always been on my terms. Like, it's always been like my choice to change my plan. But this path made me so scared because it wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't my choice. It was his choice. At this time, me and God weren't even like that close, right? We were like, I'm interested, but I'm not sure. You know, like I was that type of way with God at that point in my life. I was kind of like, I'm interested, I'll suss you out, see if you have a boo, like, you know, like see if you have a mate that's better. Joking, I never do that, it's rude. But you know what I mean? I was kind of like, yeah, I wasn't sure about God. But he was like, no, mate, like this is what I have in plan for you. And it was weird because it was just weird, okay? But he was like, midwifery, and I just followed it. He whispered it, that thought got stuck in my head. I didn't tell anyone, and I'm a person that tells everyone everything, okay? I'm that type of person, but I kept it to myself. I kept it private, stewed on it. I like prayed, like I think I prayed before. I was like, I'm not sure about how this goes and what to do, but like God, tell me my direction of my life. And then he told me, right? So then I prayed a bit more. I was like, did I just have I gone crazy? Like, what's going on? Yeah, so that was like a crazy journey, like the fact that it's his plan for me. How can I just ignore his plan? Like, we weren't even cool like that, and he told me his plan. He told me a part of his will for me, and this is something that I was like, what? Are you crazy? But I felt like it gave me this platform. It did give me this platform because it then gave me a reason to start a YouTube channel like I always wanted to, and it gave me a purpose. Like, your reason to do YouTube is not to be like everyone else, but it's to be someone who can go out there and let people know that they're going back into education, they're not alone. Like, you're doing it as well. There's a community out there for you guys, and to let people who want to be a student midwife, show them the journey and like the ups and the downs. And this is also why I created my channel on April 4th, but I didn't post until August 4th, because I was like, what if I don't get into college? Then I'm gonna post these videos for no reason, like I'm gonna be a fraud. And there was always times I was very scared, like, what if I don't get in? And there was a time that I was so close. When I was getting invitation to do the tests and to do the interviews, there was times that I was getting rejected, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm such a fraud. Like, I've done this whole year, almost this year of YouTube, of, you know, making videos for my access course, and I'm not even gonna get into uni. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I was so scared, and I was like nervous. But you know, he says like he will provide. If it's his cause, if it's his plan, if it's in his name, if it's his will for your life, he will provide what you need. And he did. And then I remember I got into the access course, and then I almost stopped making videos because I was like, I'm not going to get into uni. But I did get into uni. I got one offer for midwifery and one offer for nursing, and then my other 3 I got rejections, and I'm here. There's been times I'm like, oh, I can't do this, or I don't think this is for me. I actually had one of those days not that long ago where I just broke down crying. I was like at my wit's end. My CPF wouldn't give me time off. Like, you know, I was just like, I can't do this. But I had a good little cry, and then went and got something else sorted out, something separate from this, and then I was like, bam, no, it's fine, God's will for me. Like, but what people have been saying to me lately, especially since I have this project / product idea in my mind, people have been saying to me lately, anything scary, anything that you find scary, that you're nervous about, it's worth it. It's worth the risk. It is. And they're right. I was so nervous. I was so scared about doing this. I was so, what the heck? Because it wasn't in my control. This wasn't my plan for my life. I was so nervous, so scared. But this year has been amazing. it's been life-changing. I always consider myself quite a mature person in the sense of like I've been very mature for my age a lot of the times, but this has matured me and made me grow in different ways that I didn't think I could. I'm so much more confident speaking to people. I doubt myself a little less. I have this new knowledge base. I thought my brain was not learning stuff, but yeah, I amaze myself and I keep on learning every day. And there's times when I feel like I am not learning, I can't learn anymore, and then I go to placement and I'm able to perform a skill, or I'm able to give a new parent some information, and I'm like, at the end of that I look at my mentor and I'm like, did I even say that right? And she's always like, yeah, you did. And I'm like, oh my gosh, the heck, how did I know that? And like the other day I managed to get a baby latched on and feeding. When we had seen her a couple days prior, it was just not happening. Like we spent so long there and it just wasn't happening, and I managed to do that the next time we saw her, and that's because my confidence had grown and my skill set had grown and my knowledge had grown, and it's been worth it. So is this worth the risk? Yes. But then again, I don't have children or a husband or a partner that needs to rely on me. But I feel like even if you did and they loved you dearly, you guys would make it work. I feel like if there's love and if there's a want and a desire and you feel like this is what you're supposed to do, go for it, because it's worth the risk and it's worth the effort and it's worth the time, and you at least have to try, you know? I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you're enjoying VEDA so far. And in the meantime, keep on being you. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below with any questions or suggestions, and don't forget to subscribe to get weekly updates. Bye y'all.